Hello, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo Brotherhood. I'm Ryan. This is Fishing Planet. It's been a while since we've done regular Fishing Planet videos, but with the release of the full game, I thought, well, we'll do a couple this week. We'll check it out. We'll see what's happening. So we're jumping in. Back in Texas, of course. Just haven't really quite decided where I want to go just yet, so I thought, well, we'll just jump into Texas and we'll see what's up. So we'll throw that topwater bait out here across the middle of the wide portion of the lake. And we're going to set my speed at 2 and then lower my drag just a little bit, just to make it a little more fun. We're going to reel it in and we're going to pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. Let the line tighten back up, pop it, pop it. Looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, the animation on the popping is pretty good. Pretty fancy. Seems to be in pretty good shape. Pop. 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 So the whole idea here, I think, is not idea, but the whole, like, you pop it, it creates that. Looks like it's going to flee, activates that predatory response there in bass or whatever you're catching, and then while you're sort of catching back up with your line, it's sitting there on the water motionless, and that's when they're going to strike. Now I'm trying not to push on my right mouse button very much because I don't want it to be like the same as a hook set. I want it to be a pop. Come on, fish. I fast forwarded to 5 o'clock tonight because that's when it said that the fishing was going to be at its best. So I thought, well, I'll just wait and go over there, do that. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Maybe getting to do some fishing in real life this holiday weekend, enjoying your extra day off if you have one. If not, I'm sorry, but I feel for you. I worked a long time in a profession that never took a day off, so I totally understand if you find yourself working your normal allotment of hours this week. Yeah, I used to work in a group home for kids who needed some help. And, of course, the kids didn't go home, so it's not like we could just close for Labor Day and not be there. But it was a huge learning experience and definitely helped me appreciate how I grew up a little bit, or a lot, and then also, informed a lot of my decisions as an adult on what I was going to put priority on. So it was not a bad experience at all to have to work those days. Even way back when video stores were a thing. That was my first job, was at a video store. Video stores don't close for holidays like that. We were even open on Christmas. I stopped going to Thanksgiving dinners when I was like 16 because I had my first job, and she, as in the boss, would pay time and a half for anybody that went to work at that point. So I would take everybody's shifts on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everything else. So I'm used to working those holiday days. And I understand. Let's go over to where my old favorite place is. Anymore you come to Texas, you stand in the middle of the dock and throw it towards the middle and catch those little spotted bass all day, every day. But I used to like coming over here to this corner where that guy is. Hello, guy. I'm catching fish. Maybe that's what we'll do. Germ wad. Let's go fish with germ wad. Hope we don't catch anything. We'll come down here so as to not be right in the space, but we're gonna fish right along the backs of these lily pads. Get some popping going. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, there's some snags going. I've been watching Game of Thrones. It's now on hiatus for a year and a half, which is interesting. Oh, there we go. I added a little pause there at the back of those weeds, and that's when the fish hit. So keep that in mind when you're catching your own fish. That little pause there might help. Decent sized spotted bass. Yeah, we'll keep it. We get full experience because of the gear we're using. So 17 XP. How much more experience do we need? Let's see, 1,000. About 200. About 200. Yeah, so Game of Thrones being gone for 18 months, that's kind of crazy to me when you think that like movies are being made in 18 months. But when you think about, it's what, 4 or 5 times longer than a movie. So maybe it's not so crazy. Give it a little pause. Nope, nothing that time. That's okay. Let's go on the other side of germ wad. Don't mind us, germ wad. We're just gonna try to thread the needle this way. So we are. I need to do a little research, find out like what's the best way to catch some night fish, and just do a night fish video. I don't want to pay for a lantern, but I think it's going to be like necessary to night fish appropriately, because man, it is dark. Just getting all kinds of snags. Alright, I didn't like all those snags. Maybe back here in front of the dam once. Big cast. Ooh. 120. Let's see, 136 feet. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's more footage, more film. They don't really do things in film anymore, but it's more footage of film than what you'd have in your normal movie by ×3. But still, 18 months. The thing is, like, I don't know if HBO or the powers that be or what, but like, there's no reason why they should have been filming essentially year round. They knew they were going to make it to the end. I read something about how the fact is like they're really limited amount of shooting time they get due to the locations they chose. Like they have to wait for the leaves to fall off the trees and so forth. The way it still looks like winter, and but that could be like in an attempt to save money. I can't imagine like a regular movie worries about stuff like that. Maybe it does. What else have we been doing? What else have we been doing? Working, I guess. School's back in session. Got a good class. How long? Every year as a teacher, I always make the joke: if you don't like what you're doing, just wait. It always changes. So the whole sort of atmosphere of your room changes from year to year, depending on the kids and the students that are in it. So still just getting to know them. It is interesting because this is the year that my son is in the same grade level that I'm teaching, so I've known a lot of these kids for a long time, a lot of the families for a long time, and I mean, he gets the worst end of it, the calf cast, the boy does, mainly because I know what I should be able to expect out of him now, a lot more than what you would before. I mean, just imagine, like, let me see. I can't really think of an analogy that'll work. That'd be that wouldn't sound silly, I guess. But let's just imagine like you've got like one pair of shoes, and it's the only pair of shoes you've ever had, and it's you've learned to run in the shoes. You've learned to walk in the shoes, and you know what to expect out of those shoes. Those shoes have treated you one way, and you know what to expect when you sit down to mess with your shoes again. And then all of a sudden, you realize that that's dumb. I can't make it work. I don't know. It was there and then it was gone. I don't know. But anyway, essentially, like, I know what kids his age are capable of. That's the population I've been working with for the last 10 years. So little things that he used to get away with, I guess. Not making his bed as nicely as I think he should be able to make it. Not getting his homework done as efficiently as I think he can do it. Now I know. I'm like, there's 30 kids in my class who can do what I'm asking you to do without any problem. So let's quit your bellyache and get to work sort of business. But I think it'll also be interesting to see what happens afterwards. Because I'm assuming that most of the kids after this, I don't know if I'll be able to see them at the same level of maturity, because they've always seemed older than I always worked with kids older than my kids, so they were always more mature than my kids. Now, I don't know, it's weird. It's going to be a strange situational change, I think, but it'll be interesting. Here you go. You're coming here looking for like the full game release details, and I'm just rambling on. But there really isn't much to talk about. The game hasn't changed. The economy is still broken. The lift drop, the movement, the physics of the line have been improved greatly, I think. It's a little bit more responsive, a little bit more entertaining that way. But other than that, like, the topwater stuff is just not that overly exciting for me. Like, I don't choose to fish that way. Let me see. How do I say this? To me, topwater fishing is very, very rare. Like, the situation that it calls for topwater fishing just doesn't happen where I live very often. Because the water does have to be fairly warm, because the fish have to be fairly active. And then there has to be a reason for them to be feeding off the top of the water. So, like, you got to have lily pads, or you got to have a lot of insect activity and things like that. There has to be a reason for them to be wanting to come to the top. And it's just I don't want to say it's a lot of work, but like you're creating a lot of needless action, I think, sometimes when you're doing it in real life. I could be wrong, and your experience with topwater fishing may be way different, but it's kind of like the bobber fishing. I don't do a lot of bobber fishing because I don't do a lot of bobber fishing in real life. It's not as it's not what I do a lot of. Live bait fishing, I guess. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna use some chicken livers on a size 8 hook or whatever, and try to catch catfish down on the channel of the reservoir or a river. Or we're gonna put like a size 4 hook on and catch little bitty bluegills or something, or sunfish with the kids. Like, it's not something I don't go out and do it myself. I'm going out, I have a rig just like what I've got in my hand here, and I'm either walking up and down the river, fishing up against rocks and trying to catch some rock bass or some smallmouth, or I'm standing at the edge of a boat in a reservoir trying to catch either white bass or largemouth along the shore. So, like, this is the kind of fishing I'm accustomed to. This is the kind of fishing I do. I don't do a lot of topwater fishing. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with it. So maybe that's why I'm not as thrilled about it as some of the others. But I was really looking forward to the boating aspect of it, and the depth finder, things like that on the boat. That's not out yet. I think they're going to save that for a big DLC that they're going to charge for, because this company is definitely proven to be all about the Benjamins, even though they're not running U.S. currency. And the argument on Steam a lot is it shouldn't be Fishing Planet because it only has North America. But I guess I'm saying, like, they could do other lakes and reskin some of their other fish models and so forth. They can do like a whole African continent DLC for $70, and I could see him doing that. I don't think it's a good idea, but it's their game. They can do whatever they wish. I'm just still hoping for like the Hunter, which is the free-to-play hunting simulator game that I've done on the channel a few different times, kind of turkey hunting and deer hunting and so forth. They released Call of the Wild, which was a full version of the game, and you could buy it and basically just you play it like a standalone, like a Cabela's hunting game almost. I'm still hoping for one of those for fishing planet, but you look at how much the DLCs cost. I mean, some of them are $40-$50. I mean, the economy is that high. It doesn't. There's nothing micro-transactional about this game. It's very macro-transactional. But I digress, and that's what I'm trying really hard not to do. That I'm trying not to tear the game down, because the game looks gorgeous, and the things that it does well, it does very well. And of course, it's not costing me a cent to play now, so there's no reason for me to argue, whine, and complain. But as you can tell by my green rod, or my green reel, and my fishing jacket, I've obviously put some money into the game, so I can't be that anti about it. It's just, it is what it is. I'd love to jump in here and take you guys to Michigan and go fishing for salmon or whatever off Lake Michigan, but we can't because we don't have the money to do that. Or the bait coins. Oh, got a fish! I think, yeah, we do. The weird thing is my phone vibrated at the exact same time, and I was like, "What the heck?" But no, we got a fish. Little spotted bass. We'll keep it. Clouds rolling in. I mean, it looks good. It's good. One more cast. Then we'll go. I do have to say that in the video I released last night, I got corrected in some of the comments about the PS4 version of the game. Apparently, the topwater stuff is not in the PS4 version of the game yet. It's only in the PC. So the commenter, which I wish I had his name here because I want to give him credit because I do appreciate the fact that he cleared up some misconceptions. The commenter said that the PC version will still be ahead of the PS4 version, which is good. And that was sort of my point there. And then I admit I don't have a console. I have an Xbox that I sold because I was playing the computer more. I like the computer. I'm not going to say it's master race business and all that. I think that's inflammatory, but I just like the fact that I can do lots more things with my computer, especially work-related and YouTube-related, than what I can do on a console. I mean, I can, you can use a capture card and record on a console. Actually, it's not that hard anymore with some of the software that we have. Oh, wow. I don't know that. That's cool. But I need to switch baits. I need to put one of those baits on this. No, this one. An E. Z. Let's try the bass jig. I appreciate the fact that he set me straight, and I can let you guys know if you're watching this video and you watched the other one and you weren't sure about it either, then now we can all make sure we all know. The reason I switched rods there is because if I catch a fish, I'd like to get the full amount of the experience for it. So we need to reel a little faster with this guy. Still see it hit the bottom. Watch the line. Boom. See it waver there? Let's do one more cast. Get away out there. Okay, let it get on the bottom. Raise it up. Let it fall. Boom. See it hit. I'm actually pointing at my computer monitor. Doop. Doop. See, that's what makes the game good. I mean, that's the strength of the game. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna get one on the jig. Probably turn around and get one over there. Less off, not off the flat or the bottom, but out of the shadows, like the Ninja Turtles, out of the shadows. But instead, let's just take a call today. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Checking out Fishing Planet again. We're gonna play it a few times this week. Only while I'm having fun. That's the caveat. If I feel like it's stressing me out or I'm not enjoying it, then obviously we'll quit. But thanks for stopping by and checking it out. And if you have any suggestions on what I should do, right now our current goal is to get to the next level. And that's going to open up a new area for us. And then we want to eventually head down to Louisiana and fish those great big blue cats. So, oh, good. Let's end on a fish. So if you have any other suggestions between now and then let me know, and we'll try to make that happen, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.